Rory McIlroy, the world's #3 ranked golfer, is withdrawing from the Rio Olympics due to the Zika virus. McIlroy says his health and his family's health comes before anything else. And even though the chance of infection from Zika is considered low, it's a risk he's unwilling to take. McIlroy isn't the only one, though. A handful of other athletes have said they will skip the Summer Olympics due to Zika as well. Olympic officials have been trying to reassure athletes and travelers that the virus will not pose a big risk.
The list of athletes is growing by the day. So what is the Zika virus, and how concerned should I be that I have about 5 to 10 mosquito bites? Yeah, I'm calling in an expert. Here now, Vice Chair and Associate Professor at Drexel University College of Medicine, Dr. Anita Gupta. Doctor, thanks for being with me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Gupta, seriously, the mosquitoes in Dallas are no joke. How at risk are we here in the United States?
You know, the risk is real. There is great concern from the World Health Organization. The Centers for Disease Control have actually put out the strongest warning in the last few weeks regarding this crisis. And, you know, people that are traveling to Brazil, they have to be concerned, but there really shouldn't be panic. There is a lot that can be done to prevent this. There is a test that now is available, so we really need to get that information out there.
And right now in the monitor, they're showing mosquitoes attacking the flesh, and it's rather disgusting. It's something I see on a daily basis. I live next to a canal here in Dallas, and I just saw reports today that they have detected a Zika virus in some shape or form here in Texas. So what can we do to protect ourselves?
Look, number one, prevention is the main thing. You know, make sure you wear, number one, clothes that are long sleeves, long pants, that you have insect repellent on, that if you are in an area that has a lot of mosquitoes, that you could perhaps even put a net around your bed. Those are some of the things that you can do, but certainly prevention is part of the treatment. If you get that prevention there, you probably can avoid the whole situation entirely. Now, in Brazil, if you're traveling to the Olympics, as many of the athletes that you're talking about, they're certainly concerned, and there definitely needs to be concern about those athletes, you know, because they've worked their entire lives. So there is a lot of questions that still need to be answered. There's a lot of information we do know, but a lot of information we do not know.
And then listening to you talk about the prevention, when you said wear, long sleeves and long pants, everyone that knows me knows that I have like a specific aversion to wearing things on my arms as well as my legs. I just have an aversion to being covered in general. So that's not going to help me much. But I guess bug spray is my next line of defense. I have to ask you, there's been a lot of talk about the birth defects and that pregnant women are the most at risk. So if you're not a pregnant individual and you do get Zika virus, is there lasting damage? What happens to you?
Well, look, you know, this is the population that is most at risk, childbearing individuals. And Olympic athletes tend to be that childbearing age. So they're at that highest risk. So anyone that is pregnant currently, anyone that may be considering to get pregnant, or anyone that, is that childbearing age really needs to have that, red flag up of whether or not they should be in Brazil. And that's what we're seeing from a lot of them. Many of them are concerned. Now, the issue about brain damage is real. We know that Zika, when it's transmitted from mother to child in utero, they can definitely have that risk of brain damage. So prevention, that's really number one.
So if you're not pregnant and you are infected with the Zika virus, what are the symptoms? How do you know you've even been infected?
Sure. I mean, like any mosquito-borne illness, similar to dengue or West Nile, you're going to see fever within a few days. You might see rash, you might see joint pains and aches, headache. But the most important thing is that, in fact, only 1 out of 5 individuals have symptoms at all. Many people don't even know they've transmitted the virus. So that's what's alarming. And they may travel back to the United States and may put others at risk, because we know that this virus can be sexually transmitted as well. So, part of this is actually the individuals that are traveling and coming back, they may pose a risk to others as well.
800 cases in the United States as of now that have been reported. So this is of major concern to Americans and those that are traveling not only to the Olympic Games, but just here in the United States. I have to ask you, though, I've been familiar with West Nile. We know that that's something we've been dealing with for probably a decade or more now. How does Zika compare to West Nile as far as the deadliness and I guess how contagious it is, how likely it is?
Sure. Look, in Texas, very important, because this is something you may see anywhere in Texas. It's not just Zika that we should be concerned about. In fact, many experts are worried about not only Zika, but dengue, West Nile, encephalitis. These things are all mosquito-borne. And when we're in warmer climates, such as Texas or Brazil, for that matter, there's a higher risk for any of them. They're all very similar. They all are viruses that may not have any symptoms or may have some symptoms. So it's so important that we are not only just concerned about Zika, but some of these other viruses that you mentioned as well.
And again, mosquitoes, I know we're all sitting back thinking, like, what is the purpose for mosquitoes? They seem to cause much more harm than good. But again, for those listening, if you don't like wearing clothes on your arms and legs like me, you probably need some bug spray. And be careful, maybe don't go to Rio, and maybe don't live by canals. I'm really second guessing my living choice right now. But Dr. Gupta, thanks so much for being with me tonight.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Next, the Supreme Court struck down our Texas abortion law. What is the pro-life movement doing wrong? We'll have more next.